Perhaps some of the temple's still intact. I've got to check it out. At least the water's nice and warm. You know, it all started innocently enough. Flies. Nothing dangerous about flies. Then there was the cat. Then the sheep. The tiger. Now sharks. Bloody sharks! I'd better steer clear of him. At least the temple looks intact. I'd better head back to the shore before he spots me. Okay. I have to get rid of that shark if I'm going to reach the temple. I'll fill it with water. Let's get up there and take a look. The cockpit's ruined, but there's a glove compartment here that looks relatively intact. This wreck's old. The jungle's begun eating into it. There's a cardboard box in relatively good condition in the glove compartment, but everything else is foobar. The cover for the electrics. The cover is attached with 4 hexagonal nuts. I need something to unscrew them. Let's see what's in this box. Looks like an old radio. A radio with a hand-operated generator. You produce power by turning this little crank on the side. Oh, it fell off. The little crank fell out of the hexagonal shaft in the radio. If I need to use the old thing, I can always stick it back together. Wow, blind luck. The radio crank fits right into the bolts on the cover. Ah, there's an electrics cable under here. Might come in handy. This should moisten the bloodstain. I've soaked the cloth in the blood. Sharks are attracted to the smell of blood, but what good will that do? A long power cable from the crashed plane. I'll tie the rag to one end of the cable. I'll connect one end of the cable to the contacts on the radio. The radio can be charged electrically, and that charge could then be conducted down the cable. Sharks, I'm sure, are sensitive beings at heart. Even a small shock should be enough for him to turn tail. Of course, he's right on the lagoon bed. I'll need him to be right on top of the cable for it to work. Hopefully the smell of blood will be enough to attract his attention. It's working. The shark's surfaced, and he's circling the bait. I need to hurry before he pulls the whole thing under. Whap! 40 volts straight to the face. Fenton Paddock, Top of the food chain. Time to get down there and check out this temple. I'll collect some mud. It's a huge gate with a recess in the center. It's a huge gate with a recess in the center. How am I supposed to get in? A jagged indentation. The temple looks more or less intact from the outside. I'm running out of air. I have my strengths, but breathing underwater isn't one of them. There, I've managed to cut away the plants with the sharp edge of the pole. There's a small carving here. It's carved into the stone. There's not much I can do with it. This carving looks like the same symbol as the indentation on the temple doorway. I severed the vine. It's dripping some kind of oily sap. I'll soak the reeds with some of the sap. If it's good for my skin, it can't do any harm to an old rock. I'll oil it up. Might be I can make some kind of mold of this carving. At the moment, though, the cardboard's just too rigid. The cardboard's softened in the water. Perfect. This should make for a good mold. The damp cardboard will dry around the carving, and the plant oil should let me get it off again in one piece. The cardboard's dried in the heat. If I just remove it carefully, and yes, a beautiful cardboard mold. I filled the cardboard mold with clay. I filled the cardboard. Let's hope it's hot enough to fire the clay. That should do it. The cardboard's burned away, and the clay looks pretty solid. It's lying in the embers. I need something to pull it out with. Got it. It's an exact copy of the shape on the statue by the temple. It fits. We're in business. How has no water reached this part of the temple? It smells old and dank, but at least I can breathe.